And we welcome to our program this morning Deputy Mayor Janet Holborow, also Ward Councillor, to our program with the Paekakariki News. Good morning, Janet.
Good morning, Nigel.
Nice day on the Kapiti coast down there in Paekakariki, I should imagine.
Yep, beautiful.
Good.
First up.
I was just saying, Paekakariki will be in hot demand now after the wonderful publicity they got in, I think it was a paper this morning, of a young couple who've moved from Wellington to Paekakariki and haven't looked back since. So there we are.
Yes.
So the house prices and buildings will have gone up by an enormous amount this morning.
Yeah. It's just that wasn't enough of a problem already.
Yeah, that's dead right.
We've got a few people struggling to find accommodation in Paekakariki as it's replicated across the district. So, of course, we've got our local housing trusts that are looking for solutions to that. I've talked about that before. Yeah, so, watch that space.
Yes, how many houses have you got in that trust, or is it just the one?
There's just the one at the moment.
Right.
There's a few pieces of work going on. One is looking at existing supply that's underutilised, like second dwellings, batches, things like that. And there's various other pieces of work. But another piece of work, of course, which I've talked about a few times now, is the Wainui Whenua group,
yes,
who met again last week, talking about whether there's any opportunities for further housing when the excess transmission gully land comes online. So, there's various options coming up, but in the meantime, feeling the pinch just like the rest of the district.
Yeah. How big is that piece of land at Wainui Whenua?
So it's a very sizable piece of land. I think 560 hectares, but there's only a small amount of it that's usable for housing. A lot of it. Some of it's flood prone, some of it's quite steep. Depends on the kind of. It's actually got quite a huge variety of topography and geography. And the first thing the Housing Trust did was to get ground truth through a local ground truthing organisation based here in Paekakariki to do an assessment of the whole piece of land. So we have that piece of work available, which is really useful starting point.
Yes.
And it's identified, I don't know the exact size of the bit that's been identified for housing, but there's enough for some growth, and the first growth, of course, that's happened since probably the 1950s in Paekakariki, apart from the few apartments that have been built at the hotel, so, and a couple of, the odd house here and there. And of course, we're on septic tanks, so we can't subdivide. So there's no opportunity for infill, and we're surrounded by the sea, the escarpment, and Queen Elizabeth Park. So there hasn't been any opportunity for growth since since the northern part of Paekakariki was developed from the 50s through to the 70s.
Right. But you've got a hui plan for further discussion on that piece of land, haven't you, around about the 1st or 2nd of September?
Yes, that's right, on the 1st of September. I can't recall the exact time. I think it's 10 o'clock. But, that should be a really interesting discussion. Of course, we're trying to take that conversation back to the community as regularly as possible, just to touch base. The last hui, which was held a month or two ago, had a really great turnout and really great feedback from the community, so a lot of interest, needless to say.
Yeah, so that land, if it is decided to build on it, would that go out to tender, would it, for builders to put their tenders in and build on it?
Oh, look, it's really it's unclear at the moment how that process is going to work, who's going to acquire the land, how it's going to be developed. They're just very early stages right now, but and it's also probably a little way off, a year or two off at least.
Oh, right.
I mean, it can't be disposed of until the completion of construction starters, and then based on NZTA's and LT and LINZ's disposal process in the past, it usually takes quite a long time. So, it's just a matter of being on top of it ahead of time so that no opportunities are lost.
That's for sure. And you've still got that vacant house on Tamiti Street. That's under consideration too, isn't it?
Yeah, so the future of that is a little bit uncertain. It's likely to be sold, but I haven't had an update on that for a while. There's, of course, an off-the-back process that has to go through first, and Public Works process, so we'll see what comes of that.
Right. Now, you had an AGM of the Paekakariki Informed Community Group. Now, what is that?
Right, so it sounds unfamiliar, but be familiar with some of the work streams. So at the moment, it incorporates the local radio station,
yes,
which is completely volunteer run and going really strong after quite a few years. And the other work stream, which is more recent, is the website, which is really fantastic. We had a really good report back on that from Holly Ewans, who's been running that and setting it up. And they're about to take over my email list as well, so that information can come out via email. Okay. So it's paekakariki.nz. So that's what you look up, and it's got local stories, local content, information for locals and for visitors, quite a comprehensive list of activities and events coming up in the village. It's also got a local directory of businesses, and it's been really well supported by businesses in the district in the village too. So most of the local businesses give a regular contribution to the website, so that's just really going well, and it's so it's quite mobile friendly too. So there's the Paekakariki Pocket Universe. The idea is that you can access any information on your phone. So if you just punch in Paekakariki to Google, it comes up pretty quickly, paekakariki.nz. So yeah, that's really strong. But what was really lovely at the meeting too on Saturday is we've got a bit of a history of Paekakariki Informed Community Incorporated, because it was started by Don Polly when he did the Paekakariki Express. You probably remember that publication.
Yes, it was a great publication, wasn't it?
Yeah. He actually put out a list of contributors, and there are hundreds of them. It's just amazing how many people took an interest in that and contributed their thoughts and their articles over many years. So it was that which started Paekakariki Informed Community. And when the radio station wanted to start, I think it was probably about 5 years ago, it might have been that long ago, they, instead of having to set up from scratch, they took over the Paekakariki Informed Community structure, which had been deliberately set up to be quite open so that it could be delivered in different ways, which is why it can be delivered either in the first place like it was by a publication that didn't turn out that kind of reached a natural endpoint, and then the radio station kind of took over, and now we've got this website as well. So it's a really good example of how you can use one kind of structure to deliver some different work streams. And one of the things that Piki's looking at is how that structure works, and how so you don't have to have endless meetings, to deliver the different kind of work streams. So yeah, and the involvement from the community is just huge. It's just fantastic.
It is indeed. Right, and just on the social side, your movie nights are going well for raising funds for St. Peter's Hall. I see some good movies there too.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a little movie club doing a little winter movie series. I think they're 5:30 on a Sunday at St. Peter's Hall. I'm not sure what the next one is, but yeah, really quality movies. It's really fantastic innovation, and the hall's just going really, really well. The next thing they're putting in is a sound system, and we just gave them some funding towards that at the last Paekakariki Community Board meeting. So soon we won't be hauling in speakers and desks anymore. It'll all be there if people want to use it. So that's really great.
Thanks, Janet, for your time this morning. Talk to you in a fortnight.
Thanks, Nigel.
Janet Holborow, Paekakariki Ward Councillor and Deputy Mayor.
Beach FM, locals talking to locals.